A chilling night in Delhi, the haunted colony. It was a cold evening in the year 2001. The sun had set, and due to the thick black clouds in the sky, darkness had spread all around. This was Vijay's first day in Delhi. He had managed to secure admission to a coaching center, but the entire day had been spent running around looking for a place to stay. In big cities, getting into a good college or coaching center is relatively easy, but for a bachelor, finding a decent room to rent is an equally difficult challenge. Vijay was lost in thoughts, wondering where he would spend the night, when suddenly, a loud clap of thunder brought him back to reality. Although Delhi is known for its bustling crowds, the area where Vijay was standing was in the outskirts of the city. The bus stop where he was waiting for a bus was eerily deserted. There wasn't a single person in sight, and the weather was growing worse by the minute. A strange silence had enveloped the surroundings. Just then, Vijay felt an eerie presence behind him. A shiver ran down his spine. He turned around and saw a girl standing there. She was dressed in jeans and a kurti. For a few moments, Vijay stood in silence, watching the raindrops fall on the pavement. Then, glancing at the girl, he spoke. "You shouldn't be out alone this late, especially in this weather. You could have asked someone from your home to pick you up. I'm not even sure if any buses will be coming now." The girl lifted her gaze, looked at Vijay briefly, and then turned her eyes back towards the road without saying a word. Her behavior seemed a little odd to Vijay, but he chose not to press further and continued waiting for the bus in silence. They had been standing there for about 40 to 45 minutes now, and it was almost 9:30 p.m. Vijay was growing restless, not just because of the long wait, but also because of hunger gnawing at his stomach. "I don't think any buses are going to pass through this route now," he said. The girl suddenly broke her silence and asked, "You don't seem to be from Delhi. Where are you from?" "Huh? Oh, I'm actually from Jaunpur. I came here to prepare for the UPSC exams. I got admission to a coaching center, but I haven't found a place to stay yet. That's why I was out searching for a room and got late returning." "So where will you go now?" she asked. "I guess I'll stay at a lodge near the railway station for tonight," Vijay replied. The girl paused for a moment before saying, "If you need a place to stay, there's a flat available for rent in my society. I can help you." Vijay hesitated. "Okay, but where do you live?" "Not far from here. I live in a rented flat nearby. Come, I'll show you." Vijay still wasn't sure. "Is it safe to go at this hour? Maybe you can just give me the address, and I'll come by in the morning." The girl let out a small laugh. "This is Delhi. The city never sleeps. And besides, it's not like you're a girl who should be afraid. Anyway, spending the night at this bus stop isn't safe either. There's a cemetery right across the road. Many people have reported paranormal experiences there. You do believe in ghosts, don't you?" A chill ran through Vijay. The mention of ghosts in the dead of night, in a desolate area, was unsettling. "This is not the time to joke," he said. Ignoring his apprehensions, the girl started walking, and after thinking for a moment, Vijay decided to follow her. As they walked through the silent streets, Vijay asked, "You live nearby, so why were you waiting at the bus stop so late? You could have just walked home." "I was waiting for my friend," the girl replied. "But I guess she's not coming now. She must have stayed with her boyfriend. Anyway, I'm not afraid of anything." "What's your name?" Vijay asked. "Disha," she said. "I'm from Bareilly." After walking for a few more minutes, they reached a colony that seemed quite old. It looked like an abandoned government housing complex. At the entrance, there was a huge iron gate, its paint peeling off at several places. Vijay frowned. "This place looks pretty deserted. Are you sure you live here?" "Yes," Disha replied. "Most of the houses are empty, but some are still occupied. That house, number 3, is vacant. If you want, you can stay there for the night. My house is just a couple of houses ahead." The entire colony was shrouded in darkness. The only sound was the high-pitched chirping of crickets. Vijay hesitated but finally agreed. Disha waved him good night and walked away as he unlocked the door and stepped inside. The moment he switched on the lights, his heart nearly stopped. Disha was standing right there inside the house. Disha, you just left, right? How did you get inside? Disha smiled. I came in with you. You must not have noticed in the dark. Her voice was calm, but something about the situation felt off. Listen, she continued. This room was vacated just a week ago, still in good condition. Since you don't have anywhere to stay, you should spend the night here. We'll talk in the morning. Vijay had never imagined that, on his first day in an unknown city like Delhi, he would meet such a helpful and beautiful girl. Exhausted from the day's events, he lay down on the bed and soon drifted off to sleep. Over the next few weeks, Vijay settled into his new life. Every morning, when he woke up, he would find a good morning note stuck on his door, written in Disha's elegant handwriting. One day, as they sat talking, he asked, Disha, this colony is so quiet. Most houses seem empty. Have you ever noticed that there are no sounds? No one coming or going. Disha's expression suddenly darkened. Didn't I tell you? She said, her tone sharper than usual. The people who live here don't like being disturbed. That's why they stay indoors. Vijay nodded but couldn't shake the uneasy feeling. One evening, as they sat on the terrace, he noticed something disturbing. A man was standing on a distant rooftop, staring at him with unblinking eyes. That guy. He's always watching me, Vijay muttered. It's creepy. Forget him, Disha said. He doesn't matter. Soon after, Disha moved in with Vijay. They started living together and for a while, everything seemed perfect. A terrifying truth. One day, Vijay's old friend, Mohan, came to visit. As they approached the colony, Mohan looked around in shock. Vijay, are you serious? This place has been abandoned for 6 years. Vijay frowned. What are you talking about? I've been living here for a year. But as they stepped inside, the horror unfolded. The house, where Vijay had lived for months, was in ruins. Dust covered every surface. Cobwebs hung from the ceilings. The walls were blackened with mold. Mohan turned to him, terrified. Vijay. No one has lived here for years. A chilling realization struck Vijay as he whispered, Then, where is Disha? His blood ran cold. Hey man, this house is absolutely clean and shining. Disha takes great care of it. But where is your Disha? I don't see her. You said she stays in your room, right? Who would live in such a house? Have you lost your mental balance? Be honest, are you just messing with me? Man, even my brain isn't working properly. What am I even seeing? As soon as Vijay said this, the only bulb in the house started flickering, and a cold breeze brushed past them. The air in the room became heavy, and suddenly, a knocking sound started coming from the inner room. It seems like Disha is inside. Let's check. Vijay entered the room, but all he could see was dirt and dampness. Suddenly, they heard knocking sounds from the outer room. Shocked, Vijay and his friend stepped back into the main room. But again, the door of the inner room started banging. Bro, I think we should leave. Something doesn't feel right here. You must be mistaken. Listen to me, go home for a few days. Your health is not in good condition. Staying here alone isn't a good idea. Wait a minute. I just remembered. Disha had packed food for me this morning, but I forgot to take the tiffin. It should still be in the kitchen. Vijay rushed to the kitchen and, to his relief, found the tiffin box there. Look, I told you, here's my tiffin. Open it, and you will see pasta inside. Mohan hesitantly opened the tiffin, but as soon as he did, it fell from his hands. A foul smell filled the room, and tiny worms crawled inside the rotten food. All right, let's ask the neighbors. Vijay and Mohan went from house to house, but all the apartments were in the same condition. Completely abandoned, filled with filth and uninhabited. How do I make you believe that Disha and I lived in this flat? Mohan could see the anxiety on Vijay's face. It looked like he could break down at any moment. To comfort his friend, he agreed to ask a nearby resident. They knocked on a door and soon, a dark-skinned man with a thick mustache answered. Sir, please tell me honestly, Do you know me? The man looked Vijay up and down, and his expression changed. Tell me, sir. This is very important. This man should be ashamed of himself, watching a couple secretly every day and pretending otherwise. I have always felt that there was something strange in his eyes when he looked at Disha. What are you saying? I go to the rooftop with Disha every day. Are you crazy? I was suspicious before, but now I'm sure. You're completely insane. This guy talks to himself on the rooftop of those abandoned DDA flats. He acts like he's sitting with someone, laughs alone, and mumbles. Many times he has seen me and turned away angrily. I always thought he was some lunatic who spent his time talking to ghosts in those ruins. Shut your mouth. You're lying. You saw me, but you didn't see Disha? I was always with her. Vijay, listen to me. Disha doesn't exist. No one has ever seen her. Mohan put his hand on Vijay's shoulder. You need help, brother. The more you think about this, the more it will drive you crazy. We are your friends, not your enemies. This man is only telling you what he has seen. Vijay couldn't understand what was real anymore. Was what he was seeing now a lie, or was the life he had lived for the past year an illusion? His mind was spinning. Vijay, the place you call your home isn't even livable. Come stay with me. Tomorrow, I'll help you return to your village. Vijay nodded weakly, and Mohan took him to his room. The next morning, Mohan put him on a bus home. A month passed. Vijay was back in his village, but he seemed lost. He spent all his time sketching a face with a pencil over and over again, but never getting it right. His family tried convincing him that Disha was nothing more than his imagination, but Vijay refused to believe them. He lost interest in studies and hardly spoke to anyone. Then, suddenly, he got selected for a government job. With time and work pressure, he started to return to normal. Today was December 20th, the same date when he first met Disha. For some reason, he kept thinking about her. Late at night, he suddenly felt like Disha was calling him. He stepped outside his room, but no one was there. Then he heard her voice again, this time from the rooftop. Like a madman, he ran up the stairs. There she was, Disha, standing and smiling at him. Vijay rushed forward and grabbed her hand. You're back. I knew it. Where did you go? Come. Let me introduce you to everyone. Disha suddenly pulled her hand away and started stepping backward. She reached the edge of the rooftop, took one more step, and fell. Vijay let out a blood-curdling scream and woke up drenched in sweat. What is happening to me? His mother rushed into his room. What happened, son? Are you okay? Yes, Mom. I'm fine. Go back to sleep. The next morning, his mother showed him a marriage proposal. Look, a proposal has come for you. She's from Bareilly. We liked her. You should see her and tell us if you agree. Son, unless you move forward in life, your past will keep haunting you. All right, Mom. Whatever you think is best. Soon, Vijay's family went to meet the girl's family. Son, show your fiancée around the house, said her father. Her name was Drishti. She took Vijay to the upper floor. As they entered the room, Vijay's feet froze in place. His eyes were fixed on a picture. What happened? She asked. Who is this? Oh, that's my elder sister, Disha. She went to Delhi for studies 5 years ago. She loved a boy, but he betrayed her. She waited for him, but when he never returned, she lost all hope and committed suicide. When did she die? 4 years ago. But she's always been with me. I still feel her presence. We were very close. Are you all right? Let's go downstairs. Something feels off. Was this just a coincidence? Or was it something else? Vijay and Drishti got engaged. He felt restless, but he couldn't say anything. Who would believe him? A month passed. On the wedding night, Drishti sat in the bedroom, hiding her face under her veil. Vijay entered, and as he lifted her veil, I told you, my love, I would never leave you. You took so long, but now, no one can separate us. Drishti started laughing loudly. Vijay froze. That voice, it wasn't Drishti's. It was Disha's. His hands trembled as he stepped back. Drishti's pupils slowly turned white. Her face became pale and terrifying. She stepped toward him. Vijay collapsed on the ground, trembling. "You love me, right?" she whispered. "I love you more than you can imagine. I would go to any extent to be with you. Think again. If you love me, you will have to cross all boundaries. Otherwise, we can just be friends. So, what's your decision?"